today, together we announced to Loudoun the greatest invention of history, or the greatest merger of history and science and education. And that is in the way of the Loudoun Freedom Center. The Loudoun Freedom Center is dedicated to going further in history where only science and technology can take us. The Loudoun Freedom Center will tell those stories of the enslaved African American community all over Loudoun. There's about 40 plus African American community that have been historically recorded on a map. And we know about these communities. We want to bring awareness to their endangerment due to new development.
The most exciting news is the Belmont Slave Cemetery, which is only a mile from this location, where we have discovered, I believe, to be one of the largest slave cemeteries in the area, and it is at this point undisturbed. And so before development was able to take place and destroy the graves, we've been able to locate the graves through the help of Supervisor Ralph Bono, his staff, and county experts. We've been able to identify where we believe the graves were. They've been mapped and recorded. And these people who were largely nameless, in fact, according to even our Supreme Court, they were not people, they were property, now can have real names, real lives, and we can learn about them, and more importantly, we can connect them to many of their ancestors who may be living still in Northern Virginia today.
The people that we have listed here, the former enslaved community of Lansdowne, the 42 slaves, they are actually from the Colton Plantation. The Colton Plantation is located right here at Lansdowne. There was a slave cemetery that was located right behind the Potomac Club. And on yesterday, actually on Wednesday, I was met with historian and map maker Eugene Shields, only to find that this cemetery is no longer there. It is probably covered up with the wattle inside of the pool at the Potomac Clubhouse. And that's unfortunate, and this is why the awareness piece is so critical, and the Freedom Center is so important now, because we have a chance to save those endangered pieces of African American history from development.
But it looks like the actual graves are outside of the area of the outdoor pool. That area is largely a bike path and trees, so we think that there may be some potential for recognition at that site of the Colton slave burial site as well. So we're trying to, actually at the Freedom Center, we're going to try to connect every slave cemetery in Loudoun County. So there'll be an interactive map that will show the locations of all the slave centers, who is buried there, and tell their stories. And then it will actually create a freedom trail where people that are interested can literally go and visit each of these sites to become familiar with the people and the lifestyle of Loudoun County in the 18th century. Another interactive map showing the location of all the African American communities that existed in Loudoun County. Not all Africans that lived in Loudoun County were slaves. There were freedmen, and there were communities where they lived, and those communities through the generations well into the end of the 20th century were thriving communities in Loudoun County. Most people don't know about those communities, so we want to highlight those communities, their history, and their accomplishment for progress.
Do some of those communities exist?
So the developers just kind of blew through Loudoun County developing without consideration. That is the real fortunate story of Belmont. that property, because of the difficulties with the interchange construction there, has remained undeveloped and has given us a incredible opportunity. Many of the places that Michelle mentioned have been developed and destroyed, but we can still identify where they were and mark them and let people know what accomplishments were made on those communities.
Loudoun's first genome project that will be called I Am Loudoun. And that takes in consideration all of the ethnicities and different cultures and diversities of Loudoun. And so Loudouners will be able to come in, they'll be able to take DNA swabs, they'll be able to see who they're connected to and related to in Loudoun. And so that is an effort to begin to bring and draw a portrait, a better diverse portrait of what Loudoun looks like.
I think another
that is one of the arms of the Freedom Center. The Freedom Center will certainly work with partners that we're aligning ourselves with, partners such as the Urban League, partners such as the NAACP, partners such as the Black History Committee, to address these concerns. That is one piece of what we will do. We will engage in social justice, civic engagement, and advocacy issues by way of our partners.
But we will do it in a way, again, to bring hope, reconciliation, and understanding. Education is a wonderful tool. I've been an educator for 43 years, and I can tell you that the truth will make you free.
Yes.